Explain how an increase in AD affects the Y of an economy. Before that, let us look at the definition of AD and AS. AD refers to the total demand by households, firms, government, etc. for final goods and services produced in the economy. Whereas AS refers to the total output that firms in the economy are willing and able to supply at different price levels. So now, let us examine the different factors that contribute to the increase in AD. First of all, consumption. Consumption refers to the purchase of domestically produced goods and services for the satisfaction of consumers' wants. Next, we have investment. Investment refers to the expenditure on capital goods such as equipment, plants, as well as addition to stocks of raw material and intermediate goods. Followed by that, we have government expenditure. Government expenditure refers to the amount of money spent by government on goods and services. It could be in the form of education, healthcare, or defense. And lastly, export minus import. Export refers to the sales of goods and services to foreign countries, whereas imports refers to the purchase of goods and services from other countries. So, after looking at the four different factors, we know that all four factors contribute to the increase in AD. So when any one of the factors increases, AD would increase. But what exactly would happen when AD increases? The increase in AD is represented by the rightward shift of the AD curve in the AD and AS diagram. This results in the increase in national income and also the increase in general price level.
Now, I'll be talking about how the multiplier effect affects Y. In order to illustrate the workings of the multiplier process, certain assumptions have to be made. Firstly, assume an open economy which is initially in equilibrium with the government sector, and that the MPC is 0.5, and hence 0.5 is the MPW, assuming that MPS is 0.2, MPT is 0.1, and MPM is 0.2. You also have to assume that investment is autonomous. Assume autonomous expenditure raises by 50 million, as shown. When a firm builds a factory, investment expenditure increases by 50 million, which immediately raises the national income of the economy by 50 million. The immediate effect is incomes of factory builders and suppliers of raw materials increases by 50 million. These builders will consume 0.5 of the change in national income, for example 25 million, and save 0.2 of the change in national income, which is 10 million, and pay 0.1 of the change in Y in taxes, which is 5 million, and thus spend 0.2 on the change in Y on exports, which is 10 million. To meet the rise in the change of the 25 million of domestic consumption, producers will increase output as well as employment. The recipients of this 25 million of income, for example, producers of these goods and services in the second round, will spend 12.5 million on domestic goods, save 5 million, and pay 2.5 million in taxes, and thus spend 5 million on imports. The process will continue, and eventually, the final Y will be twice as the initial Y, which is 100 million. Now I'm going to show you how the impacts of rising AD on Y is affected by the different state of the economy, which is Keynesian, intermediate, and classical. I'm going to show you how Keynesian impacts both the general price level and national income. As you can see here, price level doesn't change. However, national income rises to a large extent. However, if an economy is in the intermediate range, general price level increase. However, national income also increased to the same extent. The last state of economy is the classical range. As you can see here, national income doesn't increase. However, price increased to a larger extent. This shows that GPL increases to a larger extent.